Alright, so this time we're going to be reviewing the brand new Figma Samus from Metroid Dread. So I'm going to say this right off the bat. I am not a Metroid expert. I have barely played Metroid. I've only ever played like Metroid on NES. Very tiny amount of like Metroid Prime. I think like the first boss or something. Like, after I beat the first boss and after the tutorial, and then I beat like some of Metroid. I've done some of Metroid Prime on GameCube, and you know, Samus isn't like Smash, but that's pretty much the extent of my Metroid expertise. I'm not really a Metroid guy. So this review is more because I'm giving this figure to one of my friends, and I'm gonna see them soon. And same with the Cobra figure. By the time you're watching this, the Cobra review will be out. Yeah, so I like that Cobra. That's also for a friend, and this Samus review is also for my friend. The Samus figure is for my friend, but the review I'm doing it for the channel. So I can't really comment on the accuracy of the figure in terms of like comparing it to the game. So unlike the Mio review, you won't really get all of that background info and everything, so bear with me. So I'm kind of just going to review it as a figure. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so Samus is almost like 6 inches tall. She's like 5 and a tenth, 5 and an 11th, like just shy of 6 inches, which means she's about, what is that, like almost, and she's almost like, she's like 14 and a half, 14 and like almost 15 centimeters. That's, oh no, sorry, almost 16 centimeters. No, 15. Almost 15 centimeters. That's pretty tall. Alright, for the sake of comparison, here she is next to Cobra. And I'd say they're about almost the same size. Cobra might be slightly taller, but I can't really tell from here. And, you know, the reason I'm trying to do them back to back, and the reason I think I have them here next to each other is because they both have fucking cool gun arms. Although Samus's is part of the suit, whereas that's actually Cobra's arm. So yeah, side to side, pretty close to each other height-wise. You can kind of see it right here. So yeah, Samus isn't gonna look super tall, because I feel like in her armor she's a lot taller than that. Especially in the other games I've seen. I think Samus naturally is just tall. And then Cobra, well, he's a pretty big guy, but I'm not sure how big he is. I'll probably put measurement or something on screen. But yeah, not a super short figure, but also not as tall as I think she should be. And I think she's a little bit shorter than like the Metroid Prime and other Samus Figmas, but I don't have those, so I can't really show you. So anyway, now we can start with overall appearance and the way, and see how good they painted the figure and everything. The lighting in here is not doing this thing justice. It just, like, the way the light is bouncing off the top of her head just looks terrible. I'm gonna see if I can make it look better. So, starting from the top, as good as I can fucking make it look with this camera. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so you can see that her visor is like the entire red part, I think, matches like the way it does in Metroid and other games that she appears in. So it's like this kind of like strong, like deep red color, and there's a little bit, it's almost like crimson here on the top part, like a slightly different shade of red. And on the back they have these air vents. I don't know what these are, but it's painted black on the inside, which is actually pretty cool. I actually bothered to paint that, and all of this is, I'm assuming, painted. This little like thing here to separate, maybe that's how they like plugged it in, but you can't remove this or anything. I love the green visor. Kind of wish you could see some of her face in it. Like, it should have been like translucent so you could see her face. But I think the way it is, it's fine. It's just not shiny enough, in my opinion. Like, it has a nice look to it, but it's not like shiny, like, because, you know, this is a see-through glass. Like, Sam is supposed to see her face and everything. You're supposed to be able to see her face and she can look through it, so it looked kind of weird that it's not partially see-through, or just has like some kind of indication that her face is in there. So oh well. And then these things, are very hard to see with this fucking camera. So I have to take a picture of it. These things are like brown? I think they're like a shiny brown color. Not really sure what these things are, but I think Samus always has something sticking out like in the front of her helmet. And then that's kind of it. So this part is actually a floating piece, and it connects to the neck, but we'll talk about it in articulation. But yeah, this part is a floating piece. It's black, and it has some red trimming lines right here. It connects to the back, so you can't really see it unless I pull out the whole thing. And it moves around so that Samus can do cool stuff like this. And actually lean and have attitude. You know, so unlike Guyver, she can do more. There's actually a lot of similarities between her and the Guyver figure, but I don't have Guyver on me to show you. So the armor is similar to the headpiece, where it's like this red plated, like with all these different trim lines and everything. There's some green energy lights or whatever leaking out from here, so it pops out very clean, not spilling into anything. Then this little green thing, I don't know what that is. She has the things for the little thruster things for her for when she does her like big jumps and everything. That's all I remember. Samus has like these things on her back, kind of like rockets, so she can do her like huge moon jumps and everything. And then I know her armor is a bit more organic compared to her original armor, so that's why it has like these blue lines sticking out. Again, very similar. It's really similar to Guyver. It's really weird. And then these things, yeah, you can see it's like some kind of like skin or sort of like wiry kind of design. Again, kind of like Guyver. So these are like a really nice blue color, like not turquoise, but like I'm not sure what kind of shade of blue it is. It's really nice, and it's kind of reflective and shiny. And it continues off here, and then this part is more armored and plated. So it continues from the back. It has this really clean, like green circle thing, with just a straight green. It pops out, it sticks out a lot because of the color. It's like a super bright neon green. And then she has these screw things or whatever. She always has big shoulders, but I don't remember her having these like big screws. And these things are adjustable, but we'll talk about that later. And even the shoulder joints are basically an extension of that. So they go like that, you see? That's nice. Oh yeah, and then these little bolts or whatever these things are, they're in like a pinkish magenta color. Hard to see, but they kind of match with the red. And let's see, the arms continues like the blue and this is where the white and the blue pattern starts, so it goes off from here, continues, wraps around the arm like in an X kind of shape, so kind of keeps going, so it wraps around, goes this way, keeps going down to the hands. You can see that it's really clean. Some of it is kind of spreading like to parts it's not supposed to, like right here, like there's a bit more blue that's supposed to be there, not supposed to be there. And let me see, is it on the back? Not as much. Like it's super clean, but at the same time it's a little bit messy, but given how small these details are, can't really notice it with the naked eye. And I think here there's a bit of a mess. Like, see, this doesn't line up perfectly, but I'm not gonna complain. And then the right arm, about the same. And due to the way the pattern is, you can kind of hide like the separation here between the shoulder and the arm for the bicep swivel. So you see it kind of like splits here, but it doesn't seem to match. Like the blue here actually matches the arm, but then the blue here doesn't, and that's weird. Like, why doesn't it match? Is that a mistake or something? They forgot to color it like in a darker shade. It's really odd, but it gets covered pretty well by the shoulder, so I don't know. Maybe they made a mistake. Although I'm not sure, because now the mistake is also on this one, but not that one. So I don't know. Oh yeah, and the thrusters are all black, so that's cool. Okay, so I'm not familiar with the character design for this Metroid game, but she has like the huge fucking Figma joints for the arm, so they look kind of obvious, but I think when you bend them, kind of goes away. And unlike Guyver, she actually does have elbows by the time you finish bending the arm. Guyver, when you do his double jointed elbow, it's just like he has like no elbow. Okay, so the stomach matches pretty much like the arms and everything. So it has like these patterns here that like cross and intersect with each other. Kind of goes in like this. I think this part is really cool, where it has like these hexagon shaped holes on the back. And then this is actually the peg, but it matches the other parts of the suit. So unless you're really paying attention to the detail, like it just looks like it's part of the suit. So it's pretty seamless there. Yeah, so the blue lines and everything kind of just go through. There's a seam line here, but it's actually not bad. It's a little noticeable, but not that bad. Same on this side, it's right here, but yeah, I like this color scheme. And there's a lot of plating and like lines and everything to show the detail on the armor. Not a whole lot of like paint mistakes right here. The torso is just like just two blue lines here, and then this thing, and then plates. The floating piece, I don't know what's up with it. It just looks really big. Like, do you notice that? It looks really tall for some reason. And it makes the stomach look like it's scrunched up, like it's like squeezed down. Which I think if you look on the inside, it actually is like pressed all the way down, so I'm not sure why it's like that. And then there's like these little tab things right here. These little tab things right here that hold the floating piece together. It connects to the torso. So we'll talk about that later. The legs, the crotch area, it continues that pattern. It's plated. They gave some curve to Samus's ass, so the plated ass exists, but like there's like nothing in here. Look. So unless you like squeeze the legs back in, it looks weird. So she doesn't really have ass. I don't know. And then it continues here with this like V-shaped pattern that cuts off here, and I guess doesn't loop around, which is weird. Or maybe it's supposed to loop around on the legs. Yeah. See, when you connect the legs like as close as possible, it's supposed to kind of continue that V shape or something. I don't know. And then it kind of continues from here on these legs, curves around, more plating here. There's a weird knee swivel right here, lower leg swivel. And it does look a little seamless because it does match the colors on like the arm. And since it's matching the blue part, you can't really notice it unless you're looking at it this close like I am. And man, this is a really good shade of blue. And then there's the armor plating. This thing moves. And you can see the little black matte finish color right here. And then this thing, the boots. Yeah, everything's super clean. Even this green part, like, this is really clean despite how small that is. It's on both sides, and this little thing moves. It's like a line right there in the middle of the black. Even the shoes have like some paneling and everything on it. More details. I'm really impressed with the way it looks. Like it's really well done. So I can't compare it to the game because I don't have the game. So I'll give it like a 9 for the aesthetic because this is super clean. Like Figma kind of went out of their way with this figure in terms of appearance. Like they basically did like with Guyver, where like they just put paint all over the place and just added a ton of like little details like in the sculpting. Like you can see etching and everything on the like blue like skin like parts right here on the like organic parts. So it's not just flat. Like they didn't just draw in the lines, like they actually etched in the lines like physically. So it's actually really cool. And then of course you can see the little lines here that make up the armor pieces and this little blue part here. It's super clean. And I didn't even talk about the gun. The gun is probably one of the best parts. Like, look at this. Yeah, just look at this. So it has like the same dark green color scheme that Samus usually has. And then it has like, it's covered in like bright yellow lights. Or like colors that are supposed to look like the lights. So there's like this part that's yellow. and then this part that's yellow, and then this is also yellow. Look at all this, and it doesn't like melt or like bleed into the other colors. It's really clean, except maybe here it's a little messy, but like underneath, I guess. And then right here on the top, there's like this there's like this copper or bronze looking like trim, and then black here in the middle. It's a bit hard to see this, but it's like a brownish, like gold sort of color or something. And then the yellow just looks great. And then in the middle especially, they managed to get this really clean. And then if you hold a camera light to it, it just looks like she's getting ready to charge. So it's actually like all the way inside of this little like hole here. There's nothing to put in there, which kind of sucks. No blast effect or anything. We'll talk about accessories later, but okay, so taking everything into account and me not knowing enough about the source material for this version of Samus, maybe 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5. I'm not sure. If I could compare it to the game, I'd probably give it a 9.5. But right now, I'm gonna give it a 9 because the hand looks a bit weird. I didn't talk about the hand, but it does look a bit weird. Like, it has the same clean, like, white and blue with green, but I don't know. The fingers and everything look kind of odd. I feel like maybe there's detail missing, like on the knuckles. Like, I don't know. Is this supposed to have extra plating or extra color here? I don't know. But everything else about it looks so damn good. So why would I bother changing the score? Okay, now we can talk about articulation. So for her head, I showed earlier a little bit. It's actually a double ball peg type of situation. So let me pop this out. Yeah, so this is just a little floating thing. Comes off. It has to go in this way. But you can see right here, for some reason they went with a double, like a weird bent floating, little bent peg right here. What they should have done is just carved, put in more like plastic on the inside so it's not so hollow, and then just have a double ball peg, like normal double ball peg. But it does work. So it does give Samus the range that she needs in terms of her neck. Alright, so she can look up like a decent amount. Nothing crazy, but it's there. There's some range. She should be able to look up more. That's about as much as you can get, I think. Then looking down, it's limited because of the armor. But she can look down somewhat. Side to side. Get some lean. Some lean here. And then like, having a little bit of attitude, like looking angle. Yeah, you can get Samus to look cool in certain angles. It's just limited like from this side. Like you can't really get her to look directly to the side due to the way the armor looks. See, like this is like too high up. I'd rather look a little bit further down with her head tilted like this way, but you can't because of the way the armor is. So really good neck, it's just hindered by the bulky armor. Alright, so now let's get to one of them. Probably the best part of this thing, which is the shoulders and the arms. So the shoulders have the arms have these shoulder pads, which are on a weird hinge that are like behind the arm or something. I don't know why it's not just up here, but they do move so they don't get in the way. And now watch this. Remember how I was talking about with Mio and the other some other figures that shoulders are important? Now watch this. Look at this range. She can bring her arm all the way across. Like, typically characters only can do this. Or something kind of like along the lines of this. But watch this. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why can she do that with her arms? This is so well engineered. Even Guyver can't do all that. He can bring his arms inward really well, but he can't go all the way like this, like no problem. Like you can do this in real life with your arms, but like I'm surprised that Samus is able to do it because most figures can't, and especially from Figma. Like how is this the same company? Anyway, and then also that's without doing the shoulders. I think without bringing the shoulders in too far in. If you combine the whole thing all the way, that's a ridiculous angle. And if you combine this with the shoulder joint, God, like, wow, look at this. Like, have you ever seen a figure with this much arm range? Like, wow. Even with the gun arm, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so the shoulders are an amazing butterfly joint where they just kind of go in and out like that. Like, look at this. Look at how far it extends out. This is what they need. This is what they need. They need more of this. If Mio had shoulders like this, that could go inward so easily, she could get way more dynamic poses, which is what I was complaining about in her video when I was comparing her to the Dark Advent model kits. The Dark Advent kits can bring their shoulders out like this, so they can go inward towards the chest. Samus can do it, and she even has bulky armor on, so this is fantastic. Okay, so here's another thing. The shoulders are connected through this peg here. You can see right here, it's connected. So it's like almost like a double ball peg thing. It's kind of not. God, it's hard to see. Yeah, you can see that. So it looks really tiny. So the shoulder pads are supposed to make up for the fact that you're not supposed to see it. So it goes like this. Yeah, so it goes like this. You can kind of hide it like this. You get full rotation like this. I already showed you the crazy range. Here's the other thing. They also added a bicep swivel right here on the top. It's kind of hard to do because of the shoulder pads, but you can turn the arms independently from the shoulder. So this tiny shoulder and shoulder pad combo does work with the bicep swivel, which is great. And then for the arm bend, sadly they stuck with, I think, a single jointed knee, elbow. I think it's this single jointed elbow because this doesn't curve. Oh wait, actually it might be double jointed. Yeah, never mind, this is double jointed. It just looks weird because it's like their typical Figma peg. Wait, let me make sure. Yeah, it might be double jointed. And you get this ridiculous range. Like, this is almost Guyver level. Except you actually get some elbow. Because they made the peg bigger. They made the joint bigger, like, when it's unopened, when it's unbent. So it looks kind of ugly, but then when you do bend it, you get some really amazing curve right here. So you actually do get some elbows. Guyver didn't have elbows, which was really funny. Yeah, so the arms are fantastic. The gun arm cannon, only goes a little bit over 90 degrees, which could be better, but it's really bulky, and this part gets in the way, so whatever. Yeah, so really good shoulder armor that does what it needs to do. Yeah, the arms actually do go all the way out to the side, and you can use the shoulder armor to kind of hide it. I don't know if it goes up any higher. Okay, so it can kind of go higher, but it'll look stupid. So maybe don't do that. Yeah, so the arms are fantastic. The neck is good enough. It does what it needs to do. Oh god, now I gotta fix this. I forgot to talk about the hand. The hand is on a typical Figma joint, and it just rotates and curves, and as long as it's on the right, the hand is twisted the right way, you can get up and down like this, or you can get side to side, or you can get like this. If you can curve the whole thing, then you can get the back and forth like this. So very adjustable and is very easy to mess around with. And then the arm cannon doesn't really have any of that. Okay, so now we can talk about the upper body itself, as we talked about the arms. So the upper body can bend back about this much. It can bend about this much, which is okay. Nothing too spectacular. And then it goes forward. nothing too crazy. And then it tilts. It actually tilts really well, considering this part can't really tilt. So this tilts pretty well, and then tilts pretty well to the side. So its front and back is not good, super good, but yeah, like this is all you'll get, not a whole lot. And then one more time in the back. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's a bit limited. So now you combine it with this. Now watch this. Now you get way more lean. And that looks a lot better. And it's pretty seamless due to the color scheme. Like, see, like the floating piece, you can kind of see it, but it's like kind of looks like one thing minus this little gap. Looks really clean, minus like the legs. We'll talk about these legs later, but hold on. That looks really good. And then watch the forward crunch. It's almost like Guyver and Mio. It's almost like Guyver and Mio, where they almost have like a 90-degree bend. And this is without having the ab crunch. Like, it doesn't have the same ab crunch like Guyver and Mio. So this is just using like the old ball peg system that they had. Like Raito. So it's more like Raito in like other Figmas. So this is actually pretty good. But here's the other thing. So I noticed that on the stomach, it looks really short due to the diaper piece being really tall and the stomach being really sunk in. So what you can do is that you can take these little tabs that are holding in the floating piece, like right here and here. You can take those, yeah, these, and you can pull this up to give it more range. But the thing is, I don't know if this is intentional. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to pull the stomach up so that this has more range. But we'll see. Let's try it. Yeah, so once you pull it out, it actually has these little holes right here for the tabs, because that's how they stick onto the stomach area, so the floating piece doesn't like flop around. See, because now it's like loose. So now it'll just do this, and it creates this big gap. So that's why I think it's unintentional. But they did make it so that it moves like crazy. Like, look at this. If it didn't have this ugly gap, like, this would be amazing range. She can fly around like Iron Man now. Or you can do this. Now you can really get that nearly 90-degree bend. Like, look at this. This is insane. But of course you get these weird like, holes right here, because they're not supposed to be out in the open like that. So you kind of, and also you can twist and I guess move the floating piece to try and adjust for it. So there you go. You can dislocate Samus's entire fucking like upper body, so there's that too. And then if you twist, ooh, oh yeah, I didn't talk about the twist. Yeah, she can twist all the way around. So do with that what you will. And same with this. Once you free it, you can just twist the whole body and contort her like crazy. So now you have to try and put this back inward, and that's going to be annoying. You have to try and put it back. Alright, so with the torso being the way it's supposed to be, I think it's really good. The front and back is really good, but it doesn't have any twist or side to side. But then when you do pull it out, it has like basically almost unlimited range. So this whole area is pretty good. This area right here, the arms, amazing. The shoulders, everything, amazing. Alright, now let's talk about the legs. So the legs have a similar like pull-out system, like I mentioned with Guyver. So it goes like this. So it goes like this, and you pull the legs out, and you can even see the joint system is similar to Guyver. And then it kind of just splits off like this. Like, that's kind of okay. Better than how Guyver was initially, before I figured out how to tuck the legs in. But here you can easily do that, but the range still isn't good. So I'm not sure how you can get better range. You can still kind of do a high kick with Samus, but that's kind of it. Not amazing. But the front and back range is really good. So the front kicks the legs off slightly to the side, but you get pretty much 90 degrees, and if you want, you can kick it out a little bit more to the side and go like this. So if you want, you can get Samus to do this, which, yeah, if you want, you can do that. I don't know why you would, but probably more appropriate for Zero Suit Samus. Yeah, so front goes like this, which is fine, and then back, yeah, not ideal because of the fact that they kick off to the side. So that's fine. That's fine, but due to the shape of the ass and the like crotch area, like this prevents the legs from going straight because it's too wide of a gap here. So there's that. Alright, so the legs are, the upper part of the legs are fine. It's just this floating piece is kind of weird. Kind of gets in the way. The other thing is that the legs have a weird lower leg swivel or knee swivel, whatever this is. Not sure how useful this will be, but you can use it for adjustment posing. You bend the legs. Focus. You bend the legs, so you can use these. Alright, so here's something really interesting. She has a double jointed knees, like Guyver, but they don't suck. And they're not loose. I'll show you that they're not loose. See? They have some grip. They don't just go like this when you move it a little bit. So they're better than Guyver's knees. And they actually do maintain posing. So they're double jointed. And they have more range too. Like her whole foot can go all the way up, back like this. Her whole leg can go all the way back. Guyver's range was kind of like this or something. Samus can almost do like a 180 with her leg. That's really good. So she gets some really great bending in the. She gets really great poses when she's bending, like crouching down or something to hold her gun. You can even recreate the Metroid Dread like poses and everything from the game, from what I've seen. So that's good. Yes, you can combine all this stuff for like subtlety and extra angles. So here's the other thing. So she has the typical Figma type of joint for the foot. It's a really long peg that connects here and then connects here. So now watch this range. Look at that. And then look at this. This is okay because this part kind of gets in the way. But look at this. Look how high up it goes. That's really good. And then of course you get this big toe joint. This toe joint is pretty cool. It's big enough and it actually curves somewhat, so it looks not completely jarring, but you can still tell based on like just doing that. Not supposed to look like that. Not supposed to look like that, but that's fine. Alright, so overall, Samus's articulation, especially if you combine like the pulling out the torso, the stomach, you get like a, I'll give it like a 9.5. It's really damn good, and just because she doesn't have the shitty knees like Guyver, she gets more points. But, no, I'll give her a 9 because her legs don't do splits. And I think maybe if you pull the torso out, it can do splits, so we'll look at that real quick. Okay, so pulling the torso out allows me to get this kind of range. So, I think if you pull the torso out and you don't have this, the leg armor bumping into each other, you can kind of almost get a full split. But it becomes really loose, so Samus can't maintain a kicking pose. Oh, wait, never mind. Hey, look at that. Samus can maintain that high kick. Even with her arms sticking out, so that's pretty good. Okay, I'll give her maybe 9.5 for the range of motion and articulation. But again, I don't know if pulling out the stomach is intentional, so if it's meant to be intentional, then okay, this gets like a 9.5 because it's better than Guyver's shitty knees, and it has great splits. So I noticed with Samus, her legs are weird because instead of like kicking out to the side, it looks like they kind of pinch in, and it looks strange. See, like the legs, when they split, they go inward towards the leg instead of like kicking out. You see how this just curves in? For some reason it happens at this part of the thigh instead of up here. So So the legs like kick outward. Like they still go out, but they don't move the way they're supposed to. Like typically when a leg kicks out, it's supposed to be... I'll use the arm as an example. So you see, the arm goes like this. You see how it swings like this? It's going outward. It's not like pinching in and going in a different way. Like, see, look at this. That's not how legs work. Your legs don't dig into your crotch. They curve outward. I don't have another figure on me right now to show you, but I got some other examples I can show you later. So I just wanted to point that out. Alright, so Samus is fairly light on accessories, which I think is the weakest part of her, especially because there's no blast effect for her arm cannon. So you kind of have to substitute with using some other accessory or something. So you get the morph ball, you know, Samus's trademark morph ball technique. I think it looks really damn good. Like the green is so bright, and then it like connects here, and like it looks like it's trimming. Like you see how it kind of just goes around. I don't know if this part makes sense though. Like the way it's molded like that. Like, does that make sense? I don't know. I'm not. I don't know how accurate it is to the game. But you can also. Is it supposed to be this big? Is Samus this big when she morph balls? I always thought she became really small. But I guess like compared to her foot, yeah, that's kind of small. It's almost like a whole ball. Like she's holding a beach ball. But yeah, I'd say it looks really good. It has like red here in the middle, and on the sides, and then white here, and then the blue like symbiotic part or whatever is kind of connecting to the plated armor thing here. I think it looks really good, and it can roll around. It can actually like roll and move around like a ball. So that's cool. I guess not really it's not supposed to do that, but you know, you shouldn't be playing with it like that. But and it also has a peg, where is it? Right here. So you can connect it to the Figma stand. So that's pretty cool. So you can have Samus look like she's floating in the air in her morph ball state. The other thing is this cannon, which I don't know the name of, and I don't know why it's a different color. Because isn't Samus's arm cannon green? Why is this one red? I think it's called Omega Cannon or something. I don't know. It also comes with this little thing to prevent the hole from shrinking, so you can actually peg it into the arm. So you just take this out, and then you take this. Okay, well not like that, but okay. And then you just swap this out. See? It's this double-sided thing. Right? I swear it's like one-sided. I don't know. How does it go in? Like this? Is this how it works? Yeah, I guess so, because it wouldn't make sense if it bent the other way. Alright, then you put this back on. Alright, then you put it back on, and then bam. Now Samus can blast you with the giant arm cannon thing. Or whatever this is. I think it looks really cool. And since the arm can go all the way to the side, you can actually have it look like she's holding it. You can actually have it look like she's charging it, so that's pretty cool. Of course you can actually set up a pose so that it doesn't look stupid, but yeah. I'm just showing an example. This looks really damn cool. I love like the colors. Oh fuck. I love the coloring on it. Because it's red. It's like the same type of red, like purplish red that the armor has. And then it has like this blue little energy lights here. And then the gray part here with the cannon. And then this part is like a pinkish, like a brownish with a brown color with like a hint of red. And then the blue like light, or you know, for the blaster, that's where the blast would come out of. These flaps sadly don't open, so it's just kind of stuck like that. And then whatever this part is right here, I have no idea what this part is, but I'm assuming it gives Samus like extra firepower. It looks really cool. So Yeah, not crazy accessory, not the craziest accessory, but it looks really damn cool, and it makes sense that Samus would have an upgraded arm cannon. The other thing is an extra hand. You get this hand. You get this hand, and it's just open palm hand. So, but it's curved to a degree, so Samus can put. You can put this on the arm cannon, so it looks like Samus is holding it. Okay, so even the instructions tells you that you need to bend the arm or bend the peg, so you can take the hand out properly without yanking the whole thing. So you do that, push that back in, take this little shrink thingy off, and then you just peg this in. Okay, there you go. And then there you go. Samus has the cannon with the other hand. And you just kind of go like this. So now now it looks like she's holding it. Or I think it would be like this. Yeah, something like this, right? Typically how Samus holds her gun. Kind of hard to get this shot of, because like this big thing's in the way. Yeah, so it would be like something like this, where Samus would just blast. Alright, so that's pretty much it. And then the other thing is this wall climbing or wall accessory thing. So you peg in Samus's foot, and you take the hand off, or you take it completely off, including the peg. And then I believe it's the right leg, the left leg, you take this part off. So you connect this. Even though it's curved like this, it looks like a right leg, but it's apparently a left leg. In the demonstration, that's what it showed. So you have to bend Samus's leg like this, which is kind of weird. And then you have to try really hard to get that curved so that the arm can go into the peg here. And these pegs don't move, they're static pegs. So you kind of have to go like this. And then bam, there you go. So now you gotta find a magnet or something and stick Samus on, like a magnet like fridge or something, and then stick Samus onto it. And then there you go. Now for the test. How good is the magnet? Still on there. Now what happens when I close the fridge? Still on there. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so something really weird I want to point out. Something really weird I want to point out about the magnetic part. Who the hell grabs and holds onto a wall like this? Like, look, does someone's foot ever go 180 degrees like this? I don't fucking think so. Like, who does that? Like, no human can fucking have their leg up at that kind of angle and have their foot turned around like that. Like, yeah, this part with the leg, that's realistic. You can do that. Especially if you're athletic, you can do that. But who has a foot that turns like that? Like, nobody can do that with their foot. Even this part can't do that. Like, the actual foot it comes with, you can't curve like that. And the other thing is, why isn't like the whole thing just magnetic? Like, it could have just been this whole thing, not just this small part here. I'm not sure why. And like the hand has a special hand that's pegged onto it. Like this, I wish this was a normal hand, so you could just have like a flat hand. But it's really awkward like trying to pose this, because you have to bend the knee in a specific way and the leg, and then you have to curve the arm and the shoulder like this. So it kind of looks weird. Looks really damn cool on the fridge, but yeah. See, even on the actual like foot that does come with the Samus, like it kind of can't replicate that angle. Let me look at it. Let's look at the 2 feet real quick. Yeah, see? Look at how steep that angle is. And also, it's a different size. Why are the feet different sizes? Did you notice that? That's really weird. Yeah, so I don't know. I like the magnet accessory, but it's kind of limited due to the fact that it only works on like refrigerators or just really strong magnets. So I think I would have taken a blast effect instead. Alright, so the other problem with the magnet is that it should be able to easily stick on, but as you can see, it'll just slide and stay at a weird angle like this. So, not really sure why. And then if you try to fix it, it'll slide down and fall. Like, I was able to get that picture and show you that clip because I got it in like the perfect position. But this is what happens 90% of the time. So as cool as I think this accessory is, very limited use case. Yeah, it will work on a fridge, but are you really gonna keep this thing on a fridge? Hey, look at this. Yeah, there it goes again. Come on, Samus. Let me try one more time. What if I angle it like this? What is it gonna do? Alright, well now she's angled like this. See, if you mess around with it, then it'll stay at the angle you want it to be. But then if you try adjusting it, you know, it can be very difficult. And also, because of the fact that the arm has to stay in that position to connect to the hand, you can't have Samus's torso turn around so she can more accurately, more believably like turn to the side and look to the right of her, because it's kind of in this weird angle. And then the last thing, I almost forgot to mention this extra hand. So it comes with 3 hands, the fist hand, the open palm hand, and then whatever this curved hand is. Like, does she hold a gun or something with this hand? I don't know. Samus already has a gun. Well, 2 of them, I guess. She comes with 2 in this one. But yeah, is this thing always falling off for some reason? Like, yeah. So what is this for? Why does she have an extra hand? I guess to grip stuff. Come on, focus. I guess to grip stuff, but I'm not really sure what she's going to be holding on to. So, I guess use it for whatever you need. Just use it for whatever extra accessories that you have from other figures or something. And then the last thing is the figure stand. And unlike other Figma stands, this one is a lot bigger. This one's a lot bigger than usual for some reason. Like, I don't remember it being this large. It looks the same. It looks to be the same size as the one that comes with Guyver, except it doesn't have like the cool special logos and it's translucent. So, not sure why she has a bigger figure stand. I guess because you want you to attach the accessories and stuff on it, but I don't know. I don't have extra stands or whatever. So. Yeah, so this works the same way as usual. You can turn this around. Does this, does that, does this. All the shit that you've seen before, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail. But it does have... But it does have 3 different peg holes, unlike the Guyver. 4 different peg holes, unlike the Guyver one, where here, 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 and in the middle. So you can kind of put it wherever you want. Give Samus some more leverage. So I believe you can still use this peg, like the back peg, Pretty sure this one fits. Yeah, fits just fine. Samus can use it for whatever. Yeah, make it look like Samus is firing her cannon or something while in midair. I think that looks pretty cool. So you can do cool stuff like this. And then of course it comes with these, it comes with this curved peg, which I guess they all seem to be coming with now, which allows you to like have it at a more precise angle. And for some reason it's curved here, I'm not sure what that's for. So let's show off how it looks up with the morph ball, because the morph ball also has a peg hole. So you just line this up and you just kind of go like this. I suggest you just wiggle it like this. And there you go, now Samus is in the morph ball. She's not throwing out the little bomb things that she usually has. So there you go. But yeah, here you go, you can do this. I assume you can curve this piece, but I'm not sure. Maybe you shouldn't, due to the plastic. But here's a better idea. So take this, yeah, connect it to this one instead, and then connect it here, and then you have an easier time swinging it around. So you can just connect it without trying to damage this part. So now you can have it do whatever you want. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all what Samus comes with. And accessory wise, I'll give her like a, kind of hard to tell because it's only like 3 hands for her left hand, a gun, cannon, and then the morph ball, which is necessary. You need to have a morph ball for Samus, and then like the magnet thing. So I guess 8. It's okay. You could have more hands. Yeah, I'll give it like an 8 for accessories because it could have more hands, like a thumbs up hand that she always has in like most of the games, and then like I don't know, like peace sign hands or something. Like, I don't know. All right, so what do I think of the new Samus Metroid Dread Figma? I think it's pretty fantastic. Like the articulation is amazing. What, like the legs are, like the upper thighs are kind of weird because they don't stretch outward, like they don't go outward. They kind of pinch in and then split open, so that's really odd. The torso being really kind of small looking and also not having 360-degree movement unless you pull it out. And then it kind of can do that, even though I don't think that's intentional, so I'm not sure. The neck could have a little bit more range, and the head could have more range because the shoulder things here get in the way, so it does limit the articulation just due to the character design. These shoulders are connected to like a ball peg, like a double ball peg thing on the back of the shoulder, like the actual arm shoulders. It's kind of weird, but they do get in the way, and it does allow the arm to do full T-pose and everything, so that's fine. The arm cannon only goes a little bit over 90 degrees, but considering how huge it is and everything, it bends enough where you can get Samus to do her shooting poses and everything, so that's fine. Being able to do this pose in general, like the one from, I think this is Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, is pretty fantastic. I love that. So I think it does kind of live up to the hype, because everyone was saying that this was like the best figure ever, figure of the year from like 2023 and everything. I don't know if I'm going to say figure of the year, but it's really damn good, and I think it deserves like a lot of the accolades. But the problem is that it doesn't come with any blast effects, and it doesn't come with a little baby Metroid or something. Well, I don't know if it's supposed to come with a Metroid, or aren't all the Metroids gone at this point? I don't know anymore. But it'd be cool if it came with a Metroid, at least, or a missiles, or super missiles, or the little bombs that she shoots out when she turns into the morph ball, or just any kind of energy blast effect, like just to really sell the arm cannon. So it's missing that, and I think that's kind of it. And then like thumbs up hands and extra hands, like, you know, for different poses and then whatever. Also, I want to point out that the Metroid Dread Samus Figma is actually kind of expensive, because it's like similar to Guyver, it's like over $100, and it doesn't come with too many accessories. So it's kind of hard for me to justify giving it so many points for like accessories. Like I'm giving it like an 8 for accessories, but it's also like doesn't come with enough, I think, to justify the $100. Like just like Guyver, it's like you don't get enough, I think, for the $100, like for the $120. And it seems like people are scalping the hell out of this new Samus. And I don't know. Like I got it at the Nintendo World store or the Nintendo New York store, and I got lucky and I found it for like 120 something dollars. So I got it for like around 130, I think. But I don't know. I don't think it's worth the 130. But everything else about the figure is good. It's just like I don't know. I don't want to spend that kind of money on this. Even though I did, but it's like I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. And plus I was getting this as a gift for somebody else. So like no real bias or subjectivity here. It's like I'm just being objective because I don't have much experience with Metroid as a whole. I know Samus and I know Metroid, but I haven't played this damn game, so I'm kind of just judging it objectively. So I'm gonna give Samus a 9 out of 10. Great, a 9 for appearance, 9 for articulation, and then like a 7.5 or 8. I'm gonna say 8 maybe for articulation because at least it comes with a figure stand. For accessories, at least it comes with a figure stand. A lot of the time they don't, but you know, with Figma it's kind of an obligation. They always have a figure stand, but they even allow the morph ball to be pegged onto the stand, so that's cool. I just wish I had an extra stand so you could use it with the morph ball. Oh well. Alright, that's it. See you.